So, welcome friends. This is our another session about our running course, online repertory training course 2021. So, let's have talk. Up till now, in all our sessions, we try to understand various repertory skills. So, we try to create awareness like how repertory work and what we have to do in this regard to gain a more repertory skills. So we try to understand case taking, case analysis arts, like where we have to keep focus in case taking, where we have to focus in case analysis. So this we have completed and we get aware like, but these things not coming up in us by just a night. It takes time, right? Because it's art, you have to practice it again and again for longer time. So we learn like do not collect information randomly. Don't collect information randomly because everything is we are unable to put in repertory. And even we do not have to put them in repertory. So we have to analyze which information is important and which is not. Second thing, if you have collected so many symptoms, then do not put everything in repertory also. That is also important. And that's why do not make repertorization haphazardly. Like whatever collected symptom, you put everything in repertory and then try to find out the medicine. That never work. You need to be very precise, very accurate. And how that come? You need to judge each symptom. You need to have confidence like this is very important symptom, and without this symptom I do not able to come on the medicine. So you have to get confidence. You need to have surety of your selected symptom. That is very essential. If you are sure about your symptoms, then symptoms gives you a beautiful references of remedies by repertory. So this is a very important thing. And you know in that all our exercises, if you put one symptom like similar also, and your repertory result will be totally different. So this is very important. Even some has habit like put everything which is look similar because they don't have confidence. So this is the reason in exercises we emphasize on exact rubric. Because if you put somebody has anger, then you put rage also, you put irritability also, and you put anger also. In this kind of your repertorization, nothing will work, right? So this is also very important thing. Another thing is identify peculiars, because peculiars are very essential to decide the medicine. Without putting peculiar, you don't come on medicine. And many times peculiars we can use as eliminating factor. You have to check. 5 medicines come up very strongly in repertory chart, then you have to check. These 3 peculiars are there, so which medicine prominently coming up in these 3 symptoms. And this is the way you can decide also. You can say the many different ways to confirm the medicine, either with the help of repertory or with the help of Materia Medica. Another thing we learn about factual repertorization. You have to put everything which is more exact without any alteration. Even if you have any doubt when person is talking or narrating, at that time confirm and be sure like this is the thing, and then after use that symptom in repertory. But try to be stuck with the factual things, which is a very sure, which is very you can say you have a trust on it, because you have to gain the trust of your work, and the trust in you, whatever symptom you have selected, is only comes when you have confirm those symptoms with patient during case taking. So that confirmation is also very important. I see in this all our course the exercises, you do not have trust, and that's why you collect lot of symptoms and give me in rubric exercises specially, give me answer like these all symptoms, but actually this is not going to work in real practice. You need to be sure, and in your real practice nobody is going to say like you are doing correct or you are doing wrong. Here we have a mentors and teachers, so just giving you a guideline like you are doing wrong, this is not correct. Even you have an answer from mentors, so you know like this is correct and my answer has some faults. But in reality, nobody is going to tell you, and that's why you need to be very precise, and you need to confirm those symptoms from the patient. Suppose patient say I have a backache especially here, so you have to exactly confirm like here in means what, in the middle of the back, in the side of left side and the right side, and what sort of pain. So these all the things you have to confirm. Another thing is a conceptual repetization, where you have to apply concepts, your feeling about the patient, your understanding of the patient. Suppose you feel person is very jealous, and then put that symptom. And the mind method homeopath who use this repetization a lot, he feel like person is attention seeking, so taking lot of attention, so carried desire to be, they put the rubric. Multiple way they use the rubric. This is called conceptual repetization. It's not completely wrong, but without enough experience, if you use this methodology, then surely you get fail. And that's why I put lot of emphasis to have a repetization according to factual repetization, because in factual repetization you have a trust. Second thing, you do not have to put anything from your pocket, so it's pure form, it's a pure according to symptomatology of the case. That's why you have to put them. But in conceptual repetization, there is a chance to apply your mind. You have to put something from your pocket. Your input is coming up according to your understanding of the symptom, and that's why your being is interfering the real rhythm of the case sometime. And that's why you need to be very careful when you are select any conceptual repertory rubric. After multiple confirmation, choose that. But I am not saying like conceptual repetization is useless, it has no meaning. Use them with precaution. So these is the various things we learn in our this series of very videos from me as well as other teachers, right? But today I want to share with you something very unique, very simple but very unique. So let's see. Today I want to share nothing but one very beautiful case, a very 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 simple case, very ordinary case, where even I do not have put a lot of effort to find the medicine. But the case is very pathological kind of case. So let's see. Actually, with the help of this case, we also learn like repertory has a big impact. If we try to understand the repertory thoroughly, then it make a big impact on our practice. And this is the main purpose to share this case. So this is a case of worst acute lung failure after COVID-19 of 79-year-old male patient. So even during consultation, I have not, even till now, I had not seen the patient. So by photos, videos and relatives' narration, I try to understand the patient, his condition and prescribe the medicine. So let's first try to see the patient, his condition. We try to understand his present condition. So first of all, it's a 79 years old male patient. So very old age with COVID infection, with lung failure. So let's see. He is at high risk of COVID-19 because of advanced age, one thing, and multiple chronic pre-existing illnesses. So he has many illnesses, pre-existing illnesses like diabetes, hypertension, anemia, multiple things. So this is the case. On 20th November 2020, he had common cold, body ache and low grade fever since 2 days. So they visited their regular, you can say, physician who is giving them medicine for diabetes and BP and all. And he advised to make a clinical all reports and all, and he even find out that all clinical findings, like he has a fever, so no fever, BP is 230 and 100 mmHg, so BP is high, SpO2 is 98, so no SpO2 goes down, oxygen level is not going down. So at that moment his condition is not so worst, and that's why doctor prescribed anti-cold tablets, antibiotic azithromycin 500 mg, and he advised some test, a laboratory test. So for diabetes, FBS, PPBS, HbA1c, it's also diabetes report. This is very important. Mostly, especially beginners, they don't know, even they are not aware like what sort of reports they have to do in what kind of case, especially in acutes. Chronic cases also we need to learn how to read reports, what is importance of reports. In homeopathy we have that myth, that belief, like the clinical symptoms or common symptoms has no weight, and that's why we are not putting so much emphasis, or even it's not so much need to put emphasis, but at least you know, need to know like what sort of reports are need to be carried on in certain situations, for thyroid, for diabetes, for heart complaint, for acute infection. So this is very important, and that's why I'm going to elaborate this simple thing which is very vital in practice also. I know many of legend homeopaths who are in our course, they know these things, but still I am repeating them because this is going to help new beginners. For COVID, they advise CBC, complete blood count, CRP, C-reactive protein, and D-dimer assay. So CRP and D-dimer assay, these two are specific for COVID, and CBC generally we are doing whenever we have a doubt for any sort of infection. Now this is the report. I have put one picture also from the report. So here FBS is 203, so it's very high. Normal range is 80 to 100. And PPBS, FBS means fasting blood sugar, postprandial blood sugar. So PPBS is 179. A normal ratio is also given here. Now HB1AC, this is also glucosylated hemoglobin report. This is going to get altered in diabetes cases. So generally a physician say like this is a report to show you your condition of the 3 months together. How is your diabetes? FBS and PPBS is your present condition when you had given a blood at that moment. But HB1AC gives a situation, a ratio kind of thing in 3 to 4 months. So generally it found nearly in normal patient is nearly 6, but here 7.9, so very high. Now serum ferritin. This report generally doctors do for heart risk, because we all know in COVID the person has a risk with the blood, and blood is associated with heart also. So circulatory system and heart, and that's why it's cardiac engine. Now this is CBC, hemogram report. Here you have a hemoglobin, RBC, WBC count, and differential count, and platelet count, and parasite, malaria parasite, and ESR. These are the things are there. So here hemoglobin is low, that already we know, like patient is anemia patient. Rest of the things are normal. So C-reactive protein is 13.83. So it's not so high, just a little high, and it's generally high. D-dimer assay 349.12, so it's normal. So here we see the patient has not COVID symptoms. Not so, with this situation patient has not so big impact of COVID, but it's just 2-3 days, right? And that's why he advised treatment of 2 insulin injection and diabetes tablets with anticold tablets and antibiotic azithromycin. Now this is the prescription, and he advised to check the O2 level because he has doubt of corona. Check the temperature, and person has a dry cough. Now situation after 5 days, he has no improvement at all, and he started from dry cough to very deep and wet cough, along with breathlessness and weakness and persistent fever. Fever always stay up to certain margin, it's not goes down. So doctor advised him to go with hospitalization because of advanced age, diabetes, hypertension, and with this advanced pathology. And they diagnosed the COVID-19 pneumonitis and suspected pulmonary embolism. So this is the their prescription. You can say here written COVID-19 bronchitis or pulmonitis. D-dimer is very high, 7100. CRP is 22. Total count is also increased so high, 21,500. So it's so high. So it's a doubtful case of pulmonary embolism. Catheterize the patient, putting urethral catheter, and these are the reports at that time. So CRP is 22. WBC count is so high, 21.5 thousand. So very high. Normally in fever cases, WBC count is nearly 10,000, maximum 10,000. Actually, nearly 4,000. But here it is 21,000, so high. And this is D-dimer, more than 15,000. So very, very high. And now you see, this is the treatment. Many injections, 4 or 5 injections for blood pressure and insulin and other related to COVID. But no improvement. And that's why within a 1 or 2 days they advise them to refer to a urgent admission in COVID hospital, because the regular hospital has not that all facilities of ventilator and all. So finally patient hospitalized in government hospital. So initially taken treatment with physician, then hospitalized in normal hospital, and finally go to government COVID hospital. And this is all report done by them again. And they advised to make a CT scan. And in CT scan they found multiple patches of ground glass opacities are noted in bilateral lung fields in peripheral aspect, developing consolidation likely. And here lung involvement of 75 to 78%. So total almost all lungs get in with infection. And in also lung failure, no breathlessness, oxygen also goes down. So completely a very, very critical case. Even hospitalization in government hospital, and after the 5 days hospitalization, no improvement at all. Cough is the same, very deep wet cough. Even now a situation is so worse, like he is unable to cough because of intense weakness. There is cough in a chest. When he is taking a breath, it's wheezing. But because of intense chest pain or because of intense weakness, he is not even coughing fully. He make like this, but not a fully. Just a simple cough instinct coming up. He is on ventilator, lots of medication. Doctors, finally, their relatives talk with the doctor, and doctors declare he would die because with his situation the normal person cannot survive. Then how this much older and pre-existing diabetes mellitus and hypertension patient can survive? Because of pre-existing disease and old age and this much of worse situation. So doctor said the patient a very frank things, like he is not going to survive because situation is so intense. But fortunately his daughter is a nurse. Actually at moments she is a housewife, but she know the all duty she had done the job for a nurse, professional nurse. So she decided that better he will die peacefully at home. So she shifted home without ventilator but with oxygen supply. And she is taking care of him. But she is unable to see him in this worst miserable condition. So for secondary advice, they came to me. Somewhere we have a interaction because she know my wife. In this way we have she come with my wife, and my wife say better to go with homeopathy because his condition is so weak, so he is not able to take even any kind of medicine. And homeopathic medicine has no side effects. So worst kind of side effect. This is the present situation. You can see the oxygen pipe is also there in nose. But look at the mouth part. Here the close picture. You see a lot of bleeding ulcer. The entire mouth become raw. It's going to fall off. The entire thing in mouth and on the lips also. Even in between the depression of here above upper lip, it's also ulcerated. You see the black dark dot, and you see this is 24 hours. It's not just bleeding now and had taken a picture. Completely worse situation. Entire throat, even he has this kind of ulcers. Everything become raw. As a physician, I am unable to see him in this worse situation. Then how their relatives are. So because of COVID or because of many medicines, I don't know how he come in this situation. But this is the present situation. So when they consulted me, that it's a totally gone case. There is no scope of a recovery. Even I do not have scope. And that's why at that time I had not taken consulting also. I just give a few medicine and take a medicinal charge. No hope for recovery at all. Just I have to give something that either he would die peacefully or he has some relevant bleeding ulcers till he die. So even relative accepted like he is going to die. So this is I collected information from relatives like he is unable to open the mouth, unable to eat and drink, even unable to swallow anything, and that's why he is not taking any food. Drinking water is also causing a lot of intense pain. So he is not even drinking, though he is very thirsty, but he don't like to eat, drink the water. Lots of pain and unable to sleep because of this. And all the time he is making a sound, singing, like that. He is on oxygen 10 points, food intake is 0, only survived on IV fluid, intravenous fluid by pint. All allopathic medicines are on because he is very worst case of diabetes and hypertension. So his daughter gets scared, like if I stop all medicine, then he might have something worse condition. But not all the medicines, some medicines he dropped out. Urine and stool has no complaint, no bed source. So when even in this situation you have to collect the all information regarding the general condition, like how he is, what he is doing, what is his energy, eating, drinking, sleeping position, everything you have to inquire. So generally bedridden cases, they have a bed shores, and that's why I asked the question, like he is any bed shores or not, because the daughter came to my clinic, so she is a nurse, so she know it, but he has no bed shores, unable to sit and stand, totally weak, even not unable to hold his head, even hands. If anybody say raise your hand, he is not able to hold, that much weakness. No clear voice because of very very low vitality and intense weakness. He is murmuring something but unable to recognize clearly because a very low pitch voice. So these were the situation, and I put whatever information I obtained in repertory. Simple, nothing interpreting, nothing like in this situation bleeding, so give snake medicine, or a very worse condition, so give these therapeutic ideas, or some doctor suggested camphor or arsenic is suggested by government, or somebody has suggested sepia, nothing. Whatever the fact, put in repertory, because in homeopathy we have to trust only on the symptoms. One thing. Second thing, we need to look always a confirmation in materia medica and repertory. Though the case look like it's a Rustok's case, clearly, but don't give Rustok's without confirmation in repertory and materia medica. This is I learned till in my practice, because earlier I had made lot of mistakes. Somebody has injury and give straight away arnica, and many times patient come with worse aggravation. So best thing is put all the symptoms. Most important, you feel in the case, put them in repertory, and let's our literature decide the medicine. Why we have to decide? We need to be in prejudice in our decision also. So here I have selected rubrics like mouth ulcer bleeding, that we all see, it's a fact. Very very painful, that also we know. Very very low energy, vital heat is very low, that's why I have taken it. Convulsions element during, convulsions means very weakness, and that's why I have taken convulsions, and fever also. And I want hemorrhagic tendency in medicine. Now I have selected this fifth rubric from Boger-Böningen repertory. Our 4 rubrics from complete repertory, and last from Boger-Böningen, because in complete repertory I'm unable to find, and I know in this kind of a specific general diathesis or tendency, Boger-Böningen is good. And then after I confirm with Vater, the bleeding ulcer and painful ulcer, the medicine coming up, and here you see again carbo is coming up. Now with this symptomatology you can prescribe, and even not I am, but if somebody is there who are so much in this suggestion by others, you see arsenic also coming up, and government suggested, many homeopathists suggested, like use arsenic in COVID, and it has also weakness. If I had used arsenic, I might not have good result in this case. Another thing, my selection of carbo-base is, I have a feeling, I have a general understanding of the patient is patient with very 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 weakness. Second thing, air hunger. This is the main symptom of COVID. They on ventilator, right? So lung failure, air hunger. This is a symptom of carbo-base. Another thing, death situation. He is at the step of just a few more moments and it's going to die. In this kind of situation, if you read in Materia Medica, Carbovex coming up so strong, and that's why I prescribe simple Carbovex. But here the situation is worse, so I need multiple doses, and that's why I advise his daughter to take. I had given a medicine and advised her like put a few granules of medicine in water and give that water, same water, in 3 times in a day, and continue this process for 1 week. And I advised her to call me every day. So reporting every day is there. And now I follow up after 1 week. I had no hope at all, even because just for sake of the relative, they want something, so I give medicine. But it was miracle. After 1 week, no bleeding from ulcer at all, no pain. Its ulcer become totally painless. Energy improved. Start to take liquid food. No pain, so is able to take a food. Oxygen intake is just 2 point, 10 point to 2 point. Start to converse with other with clear audible voice. The voice tone get high. No fever, no other complaint at all. So within a 1, we have a hope like person is not going to die. Now you see the situation. Ulcer is there, that not ulcer but exactly scars is there. And you see here that black dots in upper lip vanish. Bleeding on gum, on the lip, that entire cut with red blood, that gone. No bleeding you see. Even we can see in picture a throat also. On the throat, on the hard palate, ulcers are there, that scars are there, but no pain, no bleeding. So I have prescribed same way Carbovex 200 in water, but only 1 time in day for 1 week, and report after 1 week. Now no need to report every day because we have confidence like Carbovex is working in this case. So follow up after 2 weeks. Much better. Oxygen is only needed whenever he need. He has breathlessness. Otherwise removed oxygen. Able to breathe without oxygen for few hours. No ulcers at all in the mouth. Appetite is good. Able to walk on his own. Now the person who is not even able to raise his hand or able to hold his head, now start to walk in the room. Able to go to bathroom, so removed catheter also. Now you see no ulcer at all, anyway. Now this is follow up after 3 weeks. Completely recovered. Oxygen removed. Able to perform daily activities without support of anybody. No ulcers. Appetite is good. Able to walk in his own in the room. Little weakness is there because this much of illness. He has little low energy, but it's not comparable so high. But it's, I say like medicine works, so it's also vanished. Now we have one small video also and I want to share with you. So check that video. Like a person who is not even able to take a drop of water, 1 spoon of water, how he is doing.
मस्त बनाई तो कने बनाई
कने बनाई
तो बनाई
हां
मस्त बनाई हां बेटा ટેસ્ટી છે કેટલો દાડો ખાવાની ઈચ્છા હતી
કઢી ખાઈ હતી ને હજુ કઢી છે હા પીવી હોય તો મસ્ત કઢી
પીવી છે
પીજો હા કઢી
હું જરા ખાઈ લઉં
હા ખાઓ શાંતિથી આની અંદર બી રેડું એ ચમચી લેજો ને.
તમે લે ચમચી લેજો
હા આ બધું નાખી દો મગામાં નાખો
ને આ થોડા ના
તો ફિક્સ થાય તો સારું લાગે
So this is, I'm not showing like I'm a great homeopath and I'm able to cure uncurable cases. This is not my purpose to share this case. The purpose here, even with a simple, a few symptoms and simple understanding, you can cure the case if you have a trust on repertory and you know how to use repertory. So this is our main motto of this course, to make you master in repertory. And if you started to work on them and try to use them in your daily practice, then you have a confidence over your prescription day by day. And finally you compare like arsenic coming up or rust-ox coming up. So these are also symptoms of rust-ox. Or sepia, like who do not like to walk, a weakness or whatever, indifference or lot of activity in the exercise, amylate. These are the symptoms you find. Like you have to take a understanding, like whatever symptom is given, but with this symptom, if I have to select one medicine out of few medicine, group of remedies, then I have more understanding like this is the medicine. You have to take a feel also of the case. Here, as I say, I had to take a feel of the case like low oxygen. So medicine need to cover that thing also. We call them if we have to use the word, we call them genius. So that genius also should cover with the medicine. Like a weakness, anxiety, restlessness and fear of intense anxiety about health. This is arsenic. Same way, every medicine has few very general characteristic symptoms. We call them genius. Here the general genius is air hunger, old age and near death pathology, along with that symptomatology, whatever present with us, and on that base I prescribe carbohydrates. So this is the story and this is learning here. Hope this case inspire you to work more on repertory. This is our main motto. It's not something to show like I can, or even not only but my entire team is able to do anything. This is not our intention. Our intention is to ignite a spirit to learn something which is very basic in practice. So it's not always you need to have a very advanced understanding, but simple thing also going to help you. And I see in many homeopaths, they are able to prescribe very huge medicine like adamus, diamond, butterfly, a rabbit, but he is not able to find the medicine which is very common in practice like a lycopodium or sulfur or belladonna. So actually we have to start our journey of homeopathy from very basic things. Of course, a need of that advanced thing is also there in practice and it make a big impact in our practice. So it's also necessary. But students who are beginners, they have to learn this. Like any school going students say like how that college boys are all making lot of fun. So say college is worthless, school is worthless, let's go to college. but it's not happening in homeopathy, because if you have to go to college, you have to pass through that school. So the basics have very, very important role in homeopathy, and these are the very basic things. So thank you so much, friends.